What's up, everybody? This is welcome to Mr. Straight Facts show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Um, Another day on Earth 2, because this is not Earth 1. Earth 2 is where illogic, stupidity lives and thrives. Craziness just is rampant. And us Earth 1 people are like, what in the hell is going on? Who is accepting this Earth 2 mentality? And it's been around for a while. Us Earth 1 people are just now recognizing how batshit crazy our Earth 2 people are. Not even the idea of these Earth 2 people believing in flat Earth, okay? Not even the fact that, they believe in some of the most insane thought processes, that the truth is that they're allergic to it. Not even going there. We're talking about putting things in our face and expecting us to accept it. Logical things, somehow making them illogical, and we're supposed to accept it. I mean, let me just start off by giving you an example. Jeffrey Epstein unalived either himself or somebody else unalived this man in a jail cell. Pam Bondi goes on national TV, 2 people down, I believe, from Donald Trump. I believe in between her and Donald Trump is probably not Ted Cruz, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head now. But those two, Marco Rubio. It was Marco Rubio, then Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi says, "Oh, that video that you see of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. It shows. We gave you guys 11 hours of it. You can have the whole full tape." And it showed basically Jeffrey Epstein's cell. And if you watch the entire thing, supposedly, or scroll through it, it gives you some insight as to, who went in the cell. And they don't necessarily go into bringing him out unalive, but they're like, nobody went in, nobody went out. And then, what's up, Vera? And then we're told that there's a minute missing. And in this little press conference, if you don't remember, they posed a question to Donald Trump, or at least to her, and Donald Trump stopped her from answering. And then went off on this rant. Why are you still talking about Epstein? Why Epstein? I mean, you can answer it, but why you got to talk about Epstein? This is, you guys still talking about it? It's what he ran on. This man got all of them excited about the Epstein tapes, and he's going to release them, and said that Biden and all these other people didn't release them because Bill Clinton was on it. So that's the reason why. And so that red meat of getting at Clinton, decades of hating Clinton Republicans before they went batshit crazy. They were already on the edge. Then they got that Tea Party. They went stupid, and then they went MAGA. They went hella stupid. But they got them all excited about getting Democrats. Thank you, David Bickett, for the donation. And so they went to go get after him, and they talked about it incessantly. You couldn't turn on a Fox station or one of these other right-wing stations, or go onto their website without seeing Jeffrey Epstein and the Clintons and any Democrats or liberals talking about how bad they were. This stuff goes back to talking about Democrats drinking the blood of children and raping children, them being pedophiles. They have been on this train of crazy for a long fucking time. And for Donald Trump and that little press conference thing to say, you still talking about that? You brought it up, bruh. You ran on it. All your MAGA. That's what they live off of. They ate, breathed, and shit this damn topic. And then, when he finds out, he had to have known through Pam Bondi that his name is all over these documents. That's when the man started talking about, what y'all still talking about this for? What are you And then she went on to say, I have no problem answering that, President. A minute of this video is missing because the police or what is it, the something of prisons, they say that every time it's 1 minute. It's been like this for a long time. They just haven't fixed it. It's just been that way. And we have to go back and get that information, and we'll bring it back and show you that for years now, at that time, a minute drops. In a jail, a prison where you house pedophiles and killers and murderers, you're telling me that if you know there's a minute missing, then they know if they're in that area, they have a minute to try to escape. They got a minute to shank somebody and get over it and get away from it. They know they got a minute in a prison where they house murderers and rapists and pedophiles. You got a camera for years that's been missing a fucking minute. What is that, your shanking minute? I mean, who does that shit? She wanted us to believe that. People go into the metadata and find out it's not a minute missing. It's about 3 minutes missing, 2 minutes and 50-something seconds missing. Oh, shit. They don't come back out and say nothing. Next thing you know, there's a CBS article saying, we got all the minutes. There's no minutes missing. Hold on. This trick, Pam Bondi, said there's a minute missing every year for a long time. And the police told her this, the people who were the head of the prisons said that's just normal. And she's going to look into it and get us that information to match the video missing a minute the same time, every time for years to come or whatever. And then CBS get a hold of something from somebody. I'm guessing some secret source because I haven't heard any other name. Oh, they got it all. Again, Earth 2, where logic doesn't matter. Then one lady who's close to somebody that works at this police station, this prison, said, hey, that's not even where he was housed. He wasn't there. He was housed in a different area, not that area. That was confusing because they said, I didn't see it, but they said it was video of him going inside that door and never coming back out. Okay. It's confusing. So is Pam Bondi right? Is this lady right? Is this the right tape or is it a fake tape? Where's the minute or the 3 minutes? Could CBS be correct with the fact that they got all the minutes and they don't see anything, they didn't say anything particularly wrong? But then hold off. There's another Earth 2 explanation here. That door is a corridor to the jail cell. And that door that they say he walked through is one way to get in. There's another corridor or two to come in from another direction. So this video proves absolutely fucking nothing. Just that he went inside that door. His cell was within those doors. That was a corridor. That was not a cell. That was a corridor that you walk through to get to other cells. That's what we found out today. So all these different scenarios, and nobody has like the definitive. All these scenarios have come out. The government's still stuck on this 1 minute thing, but everybody else who's been researching this have come up with other scenarios. CBS, a writer who connected with people who were at that prison. One of the reporters or whatever it was that was doing a story on him or whatever knew the cell, or was some kind of assistant to his lawyer or something of that nature, knew where his cell was, and that's not it. And that it's a corridor to other prisons. So there's other cells. So there's multiple cells behind that door. That does not prove he didn't kill himself or somebody else didn't kill him. If anything, it gives you more of a question of he may not have killed himself. Because they tried to say nobody going in and out that door proves he killed himself. That's what Pam Bondi said. That's what Donald Trump said. That's what Dan Bongino said. That's what Kash Patel said. But they didn't tell you that there was multiple doors to that location. And they didn't show you that footage. They showed you the one where nobody came out of. Earth 2, people. Earth 2. I'm like, what? What? Do they think we're stupid? Obviously, they think MAGA's dumb. They figure they're going to roll with whatever they're being told, and many of them are. Charlie Kirk don't flip so much, I think he's a pancake. A human pancake. He keeps flipping. Donald Trump comes out, he flips. So it comes out again, he flips. Craziness. What's up, Dennis? So, hey, DJ, I see you too. Now that we are heavily confused as to whether this man was unalived by himself or by somebody that came in and did it, because again, their excuse is somebody fell asleep. And that's why they didn't know when he was supposed to be on suicide watch, because prior to, he tried to attempt something else. So that's why they put him on suicide watch. And then they had two people watching him. One's gone, the other one fell asleep. He ends up dead. This shit don't make no sense. None. But they want you to make sense of it. And only MAGA can make sense of the senseless. They ain't questioning everything. You got some of them still out there like, I don't know what's going on. You got your Joe Rogans, Ben Shapiro's kind of heavily confused. I'm like, wow. That always tripped me out with Ben Shapiro. He's openly and you know, always wearing his Jewish hat. He is Jewish. They hate Jews, and he's on their team. I ain't never in my life understood anybody who rolls with people that hates them. Yeah, let's all mount up and get out of here and go attack the black people. You black. Well, not with my homies. They accept me. You the one that's black. I'm like, really? Wow. Because they went, Jews would not replace us. Yet though you in the group that wants to get rid of Jews. How do you support people who want to annihilate you? But they'll accept you so that you could be the face of hate toward your own people while wearing a Jewish, so to speak, crown, yarmulke, or however you pronounce it. I'm saying, how do you go against your own people? I have yet to see in my lifetime a white person mount up with a bunch of black people to go hunt white people. I haven't seen it. But I promise you, I have seen it with every other race. Latin, Asian, black. I don't see white people mounting up to go hunt white people. Not even racist white people that they don't like. I don't see them mounting up to go hunt them or hurt them. Or say to eradicate them. It's a minority disease. It's not a white person's disease. To try and associate with one group to go attack another one, verbally or physically. Think about that shit for a minute. You got to openly, I'm proud to be a Jewish guy, hanging out with people saying that Jews will not replace us. They hate you, but you standing right beside them. They have no values that are the same as yours, except for hate of other people and yours. But you roll with him. But now he's starting to wake up a little bit. I've never gotten that shit ever. Again, Earth 2 people. These are the people that appear to be smart, but when it comes to social like skills and understanding of just common life and humanity, they're fucking idiots. You can't see that you rolling with the crew that wants to annihilate you, or you just happy the fact that they want to get rid of people who are darker than you first, and you the last they be getting rid of. I don't know. I don't know. It shocks me. I would bet that Ben Shapiro would roll with a bunch of racist white people to beat up Jewish people and just stand there and watch. And act like, what's the big deal? How can you be on the same side of people who want to do that to your people? The same with Candace Owens and the Hodge twins and all those sellout people would roll with their racist friends to fuck up a person who looks just like them just because these people accept them. But only as a tool to validate their hate for people who look like them. And be proud of it. Carrying a flag that means I hate black people, I want you as a slave. And be proud of it. It's states' rights. You're an idiot. The states' rights to do what? To own slaves, dipshit. No, it's state pride. What's so prideful of your state? Other than the fact that when that flag came about, you were in shackles and chains. People who look like you. And they were fighting to the death so they can keep you in them. They don't know their history. They have no fucking clue. They out here happy for no reason. Digging their own grave and saying, should I jump in now, boss? It's about 6 feet. Can I jump in now? It's like, no, go 12 feet. They happily digging. It's the stupidest shit I've heard. But Earth 2 people, us on Earth 1 is like, yo, you digging your own grave, homie? You're like, no, I'm not. They're going to come after you. I'm the same color as you, fool. But they like me. No, they don't. It's your grave. Tell me where I'm lying at, people. More Earth 2 shit. The Supreme Court decided in September they're going to listen, or at least they're going to determine whether they're going to listen. She's on the docket of this Ghislaine or whatever the fuck her name, Maxwell, has got to say. A convicted pedophile is trying to get out of jail free because her master pedophile got arrested in 2008, 2009 or some shit like that. As they started investigating him, I believe in 2006. He got arrested, a sweetheart of a deal, by Alice Acosta and none other than his own lawyer. What was his name? He was also accused of being a pedophile too, but she dropped a case. They're going to listen to this trick ask to get her out. Not forgiveness. Not that I'm sorry for getting children and raping them alongside another man and having a good time. Could you imagine? Like I always tell people, visualize what they did. I know it's sick, but you need to visualize what the fuck they did to realize how sick it was. See, we use these terms. Pedophile, rape, assault, sexual assault, these terms. Ladies and gentlemen, visualize, and it gets sicker than just the term. Go into the mind of this woman. She knew she was walking up. Let's just use Virginia Guthrie. She knew she saw a girl reading a little what is it, massage book, just happily innocent at 16, innocent, looking at a book. This bitch knew on her little roll, her little stroll, that being British was something that kind of, everybody feels kind of soft. British people, the way they talk, they can cuss you out and it still sounds like you're being hugged by a teddy bear. She knew what her voice and her temperament was and how calming it was. You can imagine she rehearsing it in her multi-million-dollar home. How am I going to get this bitch today? This 16-year-old child. Maybe I'll get a 14-year-old today. Maybe. Let me see. As she sings kids' songs in her head, looking in the mirror, putting her makeup on. Do you want a girl that's blind today, man? You want her to be what, like 4 foot, 6 foot, 3 foot? What do you want? Do you want her to be in a training bra, or do you want her to be a C or D cup? Get the room ready. Butler, the hot oils, and all that. I'm going hunting today. We're going to find one. She woke up knowing she was about to destroy a child's life. She knew it. She giddily, happily did that shit on a day-to-fucking-day basis, rich as fuck, and wanted to get into something. What child can I go and rape today? I'm going to fill her head with all kind of candy and sunshine. I'm going to walk up to her like a pimp and be like, hey, baby girl, what? How you feeling today? I know somebody who's rich, and you don't have to worry about this shit. I'm going to make your life better than you ever thought. All you got to do is come with me. Here's my card. Learn how to do a massage. Girl, come on. Get $200. Get this money real quick. In her head, she got the right body parts. Nice ass. Think about it. I wonder what she tastes like. It's in her fucking head, ladies and gentlemen. Think about the sickness of it all. She looked like a virgin. Tight. Everything in its place. Firm. Soft skin. Right pickings for my man and me. And with a smile and joy in her heart, suckered that child into coming after that money, knowing she was going to take her virginity, her sanity, everything else with a smile on her face. That's the type of trick, that's the type of bitch that is in jail right now. And you got Republicans talking about, well, maybe she should get out. Maybe. What? See, again, you use those terms, pedophile. You kind of soften it a little bit. When you use what I just gave you a picture of, it makes you want to take that bitch out and string her up, doesn't it? If we are going to protect our children, and your child is just like my child, I'm supposed to be here as a protector of all children. If they don't have us adults as protectors, they got us as predators. And if the protectors aren't protecting, then we're just as bad as the predator. And here they have a predator that thought those sick things I just told you, because I said you got to get into the mind of these sick people so that you can see how horrible it is. Stop softening this shit up. This woman is the devil. She knew what kind of life she was about to take these kids down. Virginia unalived herself. Many years later, she still got criminalized for this shit. When we should have been protecting this child who grew up to be a beautiful woman, we still haven't protected her or others that look like her. And we got Republicans out here acting like, well, let's just forgive and forget. No, fuck you. Let's go hunting. Just like they went and hunted these innocent children, we need to go hunting these fucking pedophiles. There's no reason they should be unaliving themselves. We should be protecting them, and they should be leading a good life. Because you think it stopped with Ghislaine Maxwell? Hell no. They still doing it. It didn't stop. You think these connections aren't still happening? He wasn't the only person doing this. He's the one that got caught. These people who love doing these types of things haven't stopped. Ghislaine Maxwell is trying to get out on some clause that Alice Acosta came up with. When he was charging them and decided to let Epstein go. I want to get this guy's name, so I won't. Alan Dershowitz. I keep on forgetting his name. Alan Dershowitz and Acosta. Those are the two who came up with these sweetheart deals. Again, Alan Dershowitz was blamed for raping one of these children. But he thinks he got off because she decided to drop the case. No, just like Donald Trump, you didn't get off. The law bended to let you off, but the accusation still stands. And because these women have got to go up against a system that doesn't give a fuck about them because they're not rich and powerful white men, you guys hold it over their necks while we sit back and allow you to continue doing this shit. I don't care what anybody says. I don't give a fuck what the law says because the law sucks. In my mind, in my heart, he's guilty. Not by the court of law, but the court of public opinion. My opinion. There's too many of these children coming out, grown people now, pointing out their accuser. What the fuck do they have to gain? All the shit they got to go through. All these fucking pieces of shit human beings doubting everything they fucking say. Enough is enough. I don't think these women would put themselves in this situation unless this shit was true. Can they prove it by the court of law? I guarantee there's video footage of all these people who said they did what she said, these people said they did to them. It's whether the courts will let it go. See, they got the law twisted so it kind of helps them. Because in that first trial, what lawyer seeks, and this is Alan Dershowitz, what lawyer seeks to throw in a clause that says Jeffrey Epstein will serve time for being a pedophile, so to speak. Well, he didn't say pedophile. It was for prostitution, knowing it's a pedophile ring, a prostitution of 2 girls, even though there was so many more than that. And that in that clause, it says, we will not prosecute any other co-conspirators for said crimes. What lawyer reaches out for that? You're representing Jeffrey Epstein. Why the fuck you giving a fuck about other people who could have did the same thing that he did? You should have left them be charged. But only a person, Alan Dershowitz, that feels that he too is guilty wants to get something to cover his ass as well. Because in that trial, he asked for that. Jeffrey Epstein asked for that. And Alice Acosta agreed to that. They were covering the asses of all other pedophiles, which Alan Dershowitz was being, but not at that time, but he was also a person under suspicion of doing the same thing. A girl accused him of it. One of Epstein's girls. But in that trial, that clause was thrown in. I had to go find out, is that normal clause to put in a case where you find a man who who sold women, sold girls, let's say it, sold children to grown-ass men and women? Is that a normal thing you throw in there? It's not normal at all. In fact, some judges are like, how in the hell could you pass something like that? Who would agree to that? They think it's illegal to even throw in. Alan Dershowitz didn't think that. Alice Acosta didn't think that. Ghislaine Maxwell is trying to get out of jail with that get out of jail free card. She's not saying she didn't do it. She's saying, hey, when you charged Epstein, you said that you won't charge any more of these pedophiles. I'm one of the pedophiles. You gotta let me free. Earth fucking 2. I'm a pedophile. Set me free. Because I'm one of the people that was in that first trial of one of his co-conspirators. Because that's the only way you would be set free if you admit, which she said she hadn't done it. Now she's saying she did it and got immunity to say, yeah, I did that shit. What fucking world are we living in that a pedophile is coming out to say I should be free because I agree that I'm a pedophile? And I got these young girls and stole them and brought them to him and did what we did. And I took part in it. But I'm immune though. I should be able to continue to do it. It puts in the mindset that, wait a minute, in 2008, when he was supposed to be serving time for this, and Alan Dershowitz and Alice Acosta decided to throw the clause that the people who helped him and was a part of the co-conspirators doing this particular thing can't be charged. This trick and Epstein thought, well, we got immunity. As soon as I serve this time, mind you, 6 days free, 1 day in jail, serving his time that way. Once we're done with this, I'm free to do whatever I want. I can't be charged anymore for these types of crimes. That's what they thought that clause meant. He could continue doing it and be free to do it. So when he got arrested in 2019, they explained to this fool, that's not what it meant. He either took himself out or got taken out. And Ghislaine Maxwell, she's telling you now, well, I thought I could continue doing it because I was exonerated from it. It said that I can't be charged for that crime because you gave them basically immunity to continue doing it. She's trying to get out of jail based on the previous case. As if this ain't a new fucking case. It ain't about 2008, 2006 crimes. It's about 2009 until 2019 crimes. She thinks that she could get away with continually doing it because in 2008, all those crimes, they could get away with. And the Supreme Court is thinking about listening to this trick talk about explain to us what you're talking about. Never mind the fact that this agreement only applies to Florida. And it says that you can't be charged for federal crimes because he got charged for the state crimes. But that's 2006. 2008. Not 2009 to 2019. What in the hell are these people talking about? Earth fucking 2. that our Supreme Court would even be listening to this shit. Do you understand? There's a very small percentage of cases that are even looked at or heard. Prior to Trump world, not every case got looked at. The federal judges can determine all these things, and not till it rises to the occasion of a certain importance to the majority of Americans does it come up to the Supreme Court. And seeing as how all these Republicans and MAGA are now in the Supreme Court, they're taking up every little fucking thing that Donald Trump and his minions want to talk about, and that is not normal. Earth 2 shit, not Earth 1. We're forgetting our morality, our stances on life that we used to have that are norms. Supreme Court would never hear this case in a fucking million years. You've been charged with something, you're guilty, you got 20 years. What is there else to listen to? You trying to tell us that you didn't do it? You got anything new in your case? No, nothing new? Then stay in jail. She has nothing new. Why are you listening to a woman who has nothing new to add? Other than the fact to say, in Florida, it says that I could continue doing this because in that clause, they said that we weren't going to be charged. I'm a co-conspirator. So you telling me you admit now that you raped these little girls? Well, with immunity, yeah, I'll tell you that. So she got queen for a day immunity to tell them, yeah, I raped little girls. But you can't charge me for it. You're already being charged, idiot. You're in jail for it. But I'm going to try and get out by saying I was a co-conspirator. The world we live in, y'all. I don't understand any of this shit. Democrats, explain this to regular intellectual people. We don't have to be geniuses, but people who just kind of get the understanding that there are rules and regulations, there are checks and balances, and none of those bitches matter anymore. Supreme Court should never listen to this in a million fucking years. It should not be on any kind of September viewing or nothing. They should literally say, we ain't listening to that shit. Move on. Hot potato. Don't want to touch that shit. Children, we're supposed to protect them. Don't even bring that shit to me. Simple. But not simple anymore. Just insane, ladies and gentlemen. She thinks she can get out. And Donald Trump is thinking about it. What does she have on Trump that this fool would even entertain it? Everybody knows there have been polls upon polls that have come out, even Republican-leaning polls that automatically say, I think it's automatically, that 60 to 86, I think it is, percent believe Trump has something to do with this whole ring. He has something. They don't know whether it's just to cover it up or he was a part of it. But 60%, 60 to 86% believe Donald Trump is hiding something, doing to his homie, Jeffrey Epstein. And every time he mentions Ghislaine Maxwell, you've seen him with pictures with him and his wife, Melania. Melania's got something to do with it, I believe. You don't hang out with a group of people and never know that they're pedophiles. When you even say, oh, he likes them kind of on the young side, and we know Donald Trump was talking about his daughter when she was a teenager, that she's his type. And if it wasn't his daughter, he'd be dating her when she was like in her 20s, but he was talking about her in a sexual way. She always had she was voluptuous ever since she was a kid. Who talks about their child as being voluptuous? Average people don't. Pedophiles do. I've never heard a man in my lifetime talk about a child being voluptuous. They elected a president that talks about his daughter like she's a piece of meat or a prostitute he would get with, called her voluptuous when she was a child. It makes you look at all those photos where he has her on his lap kind of sideways, because you got to think about it. This man does not have emotion toward people. You've never seen this fool hug one of his sons. You've never seen him in any photograph give his son a hug, kiss on the cheek, nothing. He's always touching his daughter. It makes you look at him the way you should have been looking at him. They were sitting here tripping because President Biden kissed his grandchild on the head at the funeral of her father. These assholes was out here talking mad shit that he's a pedo. Biden's a pedo because of that. But they've never called a man who wanted to have sex with his own daughter a fucking pedophile. Talked about her. What do you think you and her have in common? This is on the talk show. What do you think you have in common? I would say sex, but how will you and your daughter have sex in common? How do you even know what your daughter does sexually for you to even say that's in common? What father in here even thinks about sex at all when their daughter's around? Yet, Biden kissing his granddaughter on the head at a funeral, they have no problem pushing that he's a pedophile. I mean, they literally was saying he was a pedophile everywhere. Even on Fox, they were saying stuff like, this is kind of creepy. And there's video footage of this man being hella creepy, Donald Trump being hella creepy with his kids and other children. And they have yet to add 1 + 1 and come up with 2 with him. Oh, isn't that so cute? Really? Come on now. It makes sense. That's why they need to have this man. They need to put out this information. And they need to arrest his ass if they got video of him doing something. There's a reason why this video footage has not come out. There's a reason why. It's rich, powerful men and women who are out here doing dirt. All this time they've been talking about this cabal of Democrats and drinking the blood and having, pedophilia and all stuff like that. And they call it Democrats. And I'm like, hey, if it's a Democrat doing it, let's get them. But no, just like they always do, project. I don't put it past there being Democrats doing this because I don't believe this is a political thing. I think it's a deprived thing, and I think a depraved thing, and I think there's a lot of depravity in all races. And no matter what the children look like, no matter who the people are, what party they in, fuck all that divisive shit. We need to be unified on protecting the children. And whomever's on that list, and we know it's not a list, it's a bunch of evidence, whoever you can make out should be behind bars. At least charged. And they tried to tell us, nothing to see, nothing to see here, folks. How do you say there's nothing here to see when you said Democrats are out here doing dirt? Donald Trump right now saying that Bill Clinton, 28 times he's been to the Epstein's Island, and some other dude that was the head of Harvard or whatever. I'm like, okay, let's get him. Let's see what happens. Donald Trump, you're the president. Release the Bill Clinton footage and this other guy's footage so that we can get their ass. You know, if Bill Clinton was in this footage, that shit would be on every Fox station giving them the fucking deeds, and he would be, if he had the opportunity to put Bill Clinton behind bars, you don't think he would do it? Please. He could release Bill Clinton's tape tomorrow and have everybody on Bill Clinton's tip, and his story about him would disappear. But where's the footage at? People still want to know the fact that they know that Trump is on it too. Where's your footage at, bruh? Hmm? You got the criminal, or Trump was wearing, with his hand, it looked like it appeared to be over Bill Clinton's like sexual region, just playing around at this party, and he got a hat on, looking like a big dummy. You know what I'm saying? Looking like Baby Huey. It's online. I was in there. They got more of it. There is so much footage of these people being together. Bill Clinton was friends with Epstein too, from what they say. I haven't seen the footage, but they say it on news and shit like that. I don't have any validation of that to be true, but I don't put it past them. I mean, come on now. Bill Clinton, though I voted for him, he did have a girl at the White House giving him a little, you know what? And she was young. She wasn't underage though, but she was young. Monica Lewinsky. Just saying. So if he did something to younger children, get his ass. I ain't got, like I said, I may have voted for you and you may have done some good for me in your presidency or whatever the hell you did. I don't care who you are. If you was my pastor, oh yeah, he was nice. He prayed over me, he dipped me in some water, he baptized me, he hurt kids. I'll string him up. Throw him in jail. I don't care. He didn't give a fuck about that child's innocence. He didn't give a fuck about that destroying that child's whole life. Destroying it to the point where they couldn't have a good relationship with other people. Couldn't trust nobody. Just so you can have a little fun and blow off your wad and destroy their lives and move about your life like, let me go destroy somebody else's life. Once you caught, I don't care what they do with you. You deserve everything that comes your way. That's why I didn't care about what happened to Jeffrey Epstein, whether he did it or somebody walked in and shanked him. I don't give a fuck. He deserved everything he got. All the souls he destroyed, and all he did was destroy one. And it wasn't an innocent one. So I don't care whom it is. It could be anybody, man, woman, whatever. I don't care. If they find these people on this footage, get them. See, you don't get too many MAGAs saying that. As soon as Trump name is brought up, like Charlie Kirk, what? No. Let's just forget it. Why we talk about it? It's over. No need to talk about this anymore. It's time to go hunting for these people. Find them, put them in jail. Rich, poor, woman, I don't care what it is. Man, get them. We'll see. We'll see if they do it. But you know, they ain't gonna probably do that shit. They ain't gonna do it. Let's listen to Senator John Kennedy was spoken to today. And they had some questions for him. And this is how he did it. No, Clinton didn't resign. He went through his whole thing. Clinton got impeached, but not kicked out of office for what he did. They found out about Monica Lewinsky while they were doing an investigation, Whitewater investigation, I believe, something about some property or whatever. Excuse me. And they went after him and got him for something else. It was a win for them because they got him for this. And the crazy part was, as far as I remember, was that Monica Lewinsky was being used as a tool for the Republicans when she didn't really want to go through this and destroy her own life over it. She was like, nah, it's okay. I agreed on it. It wasn't like he forced me to do nothing, but they wanted to make it seem like he did. So Republicans ran with that, and she didn't know it was going to go down that route, and it destroyed her life. And then she started trying to get her life back and certain different things she tried to do. But she wasn't underage. And at first, it made it seem like it was something that she wanted to do. It wasn't until years later that she was like, well, he took advantage of me. I wanted to do it, but he told me this, that, and the third. I'm like, I don't know all the details. But again, she was an adult when that happened. She wasn't a 15-year-old, 14-year-old, or 16-year-old. None of that shit. But regardless, wrong. Should have never did it. Man was married. What his problem was. All right. So we're gonna listen to. I think he's a senator of Louisiana. I think it is Senator John Kennedy. Let's get it.
Over recess, do you worry at all that this Epstein issue is going to be a distraction from talking about the benefits of the One Big Beautiful Bill?
Well, the Epstein mess is already a distraction. And it's not a political issue for me. It's a moral issue.
Now, I didn't know I could agree with this dickhead, but I agree up until this point. I'm like, wow, I agree with him.
If adults aren't going to protect our kids, who is?
Facts.
This guy Epstein was a pig. P-I-G, pig.
As if you can spell it another way, but let's go.
And this is, I think we established a long time ago, that this is no country for creepy old men.
Facts.
And
somebody laugh.
I've said this before, I'll say it again. Epstein, we know, trafficked young women, some of whom were minors. American people want to know, and they're entitled to know, who, if anyone, he trafficked these women too. And if there were such people, such men, then why weren't they prosecuted? And the Justice Department is going to need to answer that. Now, how they answer that is up to them, but they need to answer it. But we're packed. I mean, in some respects, the Justice Department has dug up more snakes than they could kill. Okay, in terms of their handling of this, and I don't think I think we're beyond the point where they can say, "Look, trust me, there's nobody else." I think now the American people want to see receipts, and I want to give them plenty of time, a reasonable amount of time, to, and I think Congress should too, to decide how they're going to answer that question. But I think they're going to have to answer it, and they should.
All right. Here's the thing. Here's my problem with this. I agree. Like I said, it's often it's creepy. It really is for me to agree with some of these people. But again, I'm a fair-minded person. I'm gonna tell the truth no matter what. If it hurts, it just hurts. If it's true, I'm going to say it. He's right, and that's the thing. I agree with him, but here's the part where I disagree. Fuck all that giving him time shit. This shit happened in 2019. It is now 2025. They've had enough fucking time to figure this shit the fuck out. We done had that was like 6 years ago? 6 years ago, this man was put in jail when Donald Trump was president. He died under Donald Trump, was arrested under Donald Trump, went through a trial. That ended 2021, I believe it is, when Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted. She went through the trial 2020, whatever. She was convicted in 2021. It has been 4 years since this trick has been in jail. And you telling me 6 years of a fucking case, 4 years of this creep being behind bars, you still need fucking time to release files that you've been had in your fucking possession for 6 fucking years? Are we stupid? This is some Earth 2 shit. What the fuck you mean? Wait some more time. You've had it for 6 years. Your people looked through these files while he was in jail. They got the information in 2019, earlier, right? So you don't look through it all. The FBI knows what's in it, forwards and backwards. You've released some of this information with it being blocked out. So you got all of it. You don't look through all of it. You don't charge with it. What the fuck are you waiting on to release it? How the hell did Donald Trump have 1,000 agents for 24 hours straight, taken away from their jobs in which they were supposed to be helping and providing for American people? We paying them through tax dollars and shit. And these assholes decide to come look through some footage that's already been looked through, but now they want to look through it with the caveat of finding keywords that say Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein so that Donald Trump knows what the fuck he's dealing with. So either he can hide it or spin it. And you guys did that shit, but you can't. After you don't send 1,000 agents to do that, you can't release it to the American people? What time do you need? It's already categorized. Think about it. If they can go look at these documents and find Donald Trump's name, then it's already organized to be found. What were the 1,000 hours for? Or the 1,000 people, 24 hours a day? If it were not to find, categorize where Donald Trump is at. Release that then. Where's Donald Trump in this documentation? You can't tell us you don't have that information. You done spent 24 hours a day, 1,000 people. You got all that documentation documented and handed to Donald Trump. Hand us that one. People talk about Merrick Garland. And I think Vera just mentioned it. They've had it. If you think that people messing with Jeffrey Epstein weren't of every political party, you crazy. There are Democrats, there are Republicans, there's independents, there are people who probably don't even vote, just rich as hell on this list. I am not fooled to believe it's only Republicans. But I'm also going to tell you, I give a flying fuck what party they belong to. Either we're going to protect the kids or not. Protect citizens or not. I don't care who I have grown to like. Obviously, if I like them in public and know that behind closed doors, they're hurting children, I don't like them anymore. Fuck them. It's simple as that. Why is it so hard? Why are people so attached to money and not to humanity? These children need to be protected. If they believe they can get away with it now, who's to say they aren't doing it tonight to another child? Because we all know there is no shortage of pedophiles. Did you know that 80%, I found this out today, I did a little research, that 80%, I think it was D.L. Hughley I saw, but it wasn't just him, he got this information from somebody else, that 80% of the pedophiles are white men. I didn't know that shit. I didn't have a number in my head. Found it out today, 80%. Did you know that other countries where pedophiles go, they have a watch list and they tell their people in their country, beware of certain white men. Keep your daughters away from them. Keep your sons away from them. Because their sole purpose, these white men, is to go to that country that doesn't have any particular laws toward that, to do that to their children and their family members, to get away with it, to travel to other countries just for that purpose. Not to go visit and sit under a coconut tree and take in the air, the clean air. No, they go to perform pedophile shit. 80%, yo. And they want to talk about black people committing crimes and shit. 80% of them are fucking with kids. And you know who else said it? Tim Tebow. I was tripping off of Tim Tebow saying it. I said, the Christian Tim Tebow? I didn't take him for a person that just dealt with facts. I didn't. I really didn't. He threw me off. I looked at it, I said, wait a minute, that's Tim Tebow. He's the one that sparked this whole thing for me to like go dig in and find out. He said 80%. And he even said it's mostly fathers in their own family. Mostly men, and they do it to their own families for the most part. And then other people down that rabbit hole I went down, D.L. Hughley and other people said they go to other countries, that white men are put on a list in other countries to tell their kids to stay away from. Crazy. Didn't know that until today. So this whole cabal, whether it be Republican, Democrat, Independent, just these depraved human beings need to be put behind bars. We need to be strong on this so that no matter what, the other 20% that may be other races, colors, and creeds, they need to be gone just as well as the 80%. But it kind of gives you an understanding why pedophiles get away with being pedophiles. Because the majority of them are white men. And when it's white men crimes, they rarely do the time. Racism, mostly a white male crime. They rarely go to jail for being terrorists or racist. Just saying. It's history. It's the way it's been going. If you really pay attention to our society, racist white men get away with stuff. Sexist white men get away with stuff. Donald Trump, a bunch of all of those getting away with murder. All that. Now put a Latin person in Donald Trump's place and see if he gets away with it. Put a black person in his place and see if they get away with it. Put a woman in his place, white or other, see if they get away with it. You see how Ghislaine, white woman, is in jail for it. All the white men that she faxed them out to, out free. I'm just saying. Look at the research. All right. The last thing is MAGA people kind of like angry about what's going on. Piers Morgan, Megyn Kelly, we're talking about it. I guess it was on some podcast. Maybe it was on his show, Piers Morgan's show. Had a little banter back and forth. You got Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz or whatever on his show. A few of them have been being boisterous about what they see now. I'm just tripping how you didn't see it in Trump before. And it's crazy too, because even some of these people are seeing the Epstein video or the video and tapes and stuff, the evidence not coming out. They're still blaming other people. Bondi and Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, and they're all just robots for Trump. They just don't want to take out. You got to understand something. Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, all these other sycophants. Pete Hegseth was supposed to be trying to run for somebody's office in Tennessee. I don't know what the fuck that's all about when he lived in California. But anyway, Pete Hegseth, all these people that are in office right now due to Trump, all of them, they fall off and die. And I ain't talking about die in person, like their death and like that. I'm talking about politically. Their death is Donald Trump. Think about it. If Donald Trump didn't wake up tomorrow and not God, but the devil decided to take back his spirit, and Donald Trump did not wake up, these fools wouldn't know how to piss by themselves. What shall I do? What's work? How do you do this? How do you do that? How do we talk to our constituents? How do we do this? How do we do that? They have no fucking clue. If he died tomorrow, they would be lost. They would be lost like a baby in the woods. Think about it. They don't do shit unless he tells them to do it. They come up with an idea and Donald Trump like, I don't think that's good. Let's go this direction. And then next thing you know what? It really wasn't a good idea. He's right. Let's go that direction. They have spent years of not having a cogent fucking thought of their own, that when this man dies, and he's 80 almost, with huge cankles, which means blood ain't getting back to his heart like it used to. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to die from it, but it don't mean you're going to live a long time with it. What they going to do? J.D. Vance? Something tells me they're going to Mike Pence J.D. Vance if Donald Trump ends up, not waking up one morning. You're going to find J.D. Vance outside strung up because they sure as fuck ain't going to follow that dude. Everything he says, they're going to look at him like, man, please. They're listening to you. Your wife ain't listening to you. You think we going to listen to you? Nah. He's gone. If anybody's going to make it, it's going to be Mike Johnson. And Mike Johnson, again, anybody that watches or supposedly watches porn with their son or whatever, there's something creepy about that shit. Me and my kids ain't watching porn together. That ain't going to happen. It just ain't. And the black son at that, nah, he got a black son. It's like, nah, that shit ain't real. I can't believe it. And the sad thing I feel about it is that black child, what he had to be raised up around. This racist fuck having a black child don't make sense. Not unless they used him as a slave or some shit, but that shit don't make sense. Even in the family photos, they only had a black kid in it. Something ain't right with that shit. So if they wake up tomorrow and he ain't breathing, that party's gone. They don't know what the fuck to do. They lost. No plans, no strategy. What do? We gonna sit around a table and just worship his chair? Let me tell Donald Trump, I hate y'all. He was such a great guy. I'm like, he's dead already, yo. He died. He's in the ground. Why you got an empty chair worshiping it? That's how bad it is for them. Think about it. Take them out and see what they can do. Not a damn thing. MAGA is not beholden to not one of them. Just Trump. They'll eat each other alive. Because why? Because everybody wants to go their own direction once the king is dead. You're going to have Dan Bongino and Kash Patel not even knowing how to wipe their own ass. I mean, what the hell do I do with this? You white, bro. Trump didn't tell me to do it. I ain't doing it. Pam Bondi, wide-eyed Pam Bondi, she don't know what to do without Trump. What do I do? How do I work? How do I breathe? Think about it. They do nothing unless this man says, do that. They second guess everything they do. Third guess. If this man wakes up one morning and says, I think we should be moving in this direction. Oh, yeah, I think we should be moving in that direction too. Then you go, but we could go the other direction. But the other direction could be fine as well. That's how they respond. It's like, yo, make an educated decision. That's the problem. There's no education between none of them. They're not qualified for their jobs. Pete Hegseth is an alcoholic that don't know what the fuck he's doing. A weekend anchor that couldn't make it to the weekday. Yet though he's running our military. Earth 2, yo. I mean, we're on Earth 1. Us who have lived long enough to cherish Earth 1. We're on Earth 1. Would you get a job leading the fucking military and your experience is, I was in the military and I fought. It's okay, what did you do after that? Did you lead anybody? Yeah, I led about 20 people. Yeah, about 20. We talking about millions. Have you led 400 people? No, just 20. What you been doing for the last few years? On the weekend, kind of like chilling, getting drunk, talking to my friends, falling out every once in a while. That's pretty much it. Oh, you're great for the job. Say what? Yeah, come on, lead the military. I would say, I'm going to lead the military, and I just told you I've been drunk, falling out, hanging out with my boys, filling up people, cheating on a woman, cheating on my wife, getting her pregnant at the job site. And you want me to lead the military. I'm qualified. No, you ain't qualified. You highly qualified. Are you fucking shitting me or you tell the truth? Nah, come on. Be on my team. You ain't got to do nothing. Just every time I tell you to do shit, you move. That's it. So when I move, you move. Just like that. And that's all he needed. Not qualified. Then they throw around the word merit. You don't have none, bruh. You're an alcoholic that gets so drunk he passes out. You've been charged with, assaulting a woman sexually. You cheated on your wife with a coworker, got her pregnant. Now I guess you married to her and I guess you're faithful, you say. You bring a drink as the job you're in, you go overseas and at a press conference, you got a scotch in your hand, a dark drink, dark liquors in your hand while you at the podium. You couldn't leave that bitch at the table. You brought the drink to the podium. Only an alcoholic does that shit. You speaking to the public as the head of fucking military, and you bring a scotch drink or dark liquor drink up to the podium with you. While you was sitting your happy ass down with your drink, you could have just left it there. But you brought it with you, knowing everybody knows you're an alcoholic. Alcoholics don't drink ever again. If they do, they done fell off the wagon. And you on camera drinking, knowing you was a pass out drunk. And they got confidence in this fool. How? The same dude that released information that was classified. It's so strange how on Earth One, they ain't never been the head of the military putting out information about where they're going to bomb something, exact orders, and then tell you, hey, it ain't secret. It ain't secret. Well, we all supposed to know it. Then why didn't you put it on the news before you did it if it wasn't secret? But it's just not secret. Okay. Jesus. Earth 2. I'm so sick of Earth 2, y'all. I can't wait till Earth 2 die off. I promise you I can't. I might not live to see it. But Jesus, I want it gone. These Earth 2 people need to go. They want you to believe some of the most nonsensical shit. Like it's the thing to be. Let's be stupid together. Okay. I'm like, nah, bruh. You go be stupid. But find another planet. Go to Stupidville. And y'all live there. And let us live on Earth 1. You know what? Elon Musk, hurry the fuck up. Build something up there and send your idiot friends up there. Let us have Earth 1. Y'all go to Earth 2. Have a ball. When y'all run out of oxygen, don't come back. Just enjoy. Enjoy your Earth 2. Jesus. All right, ladies and gentlemen. These people get on my nerves. We have got to figure out a way. I pray every day. And I ain't even a Christian anymore, but I believe in God. And I pray every day that somehow, some way, he strikes these people the fuck down. Sorry, Jesus, I said it when I was cussing, when I was praying, but still, strike them. Strike, boom, take them out. Take them out. Done with them. Tired of trying to, I don't understand why you created them. And again, he says you don't make mistakes, but come on, Jesus. Come on, God. You can't tell me that shit, that you meant to make that. That's that free will shit, maybe, but you can't tell me that ain't a mistake to have somebody on Earth 2 when you only built Earth 1. Only you can fix it. And if you ain't fixing it, sum up. You got some explaining to do, God, Jesus, and all y'all. I got some explaining to do, because it say you don't make mistakes, and that there's a mistake. And it ain't just one, there's millions of them. So somebody got some explaining to do. Got some explaining to do, because you can't make some people like us and then tell us those people ain't mistakes. Ones who can't grasp onto logic for fuck. That ain't a mistake. I don't know what the fuck it is. It sure wasn't correct. I can understand being misguided, and then you can help them get. These people are stuck on stupid. Their gene is stupid. I don't think they got a gear that says common fucking sense. Just my point of view. I don't know about you, but all I want is somebody who has common sense, can concern and can determine logic just based off of, just determine facts. See it, look for it. You know what I'm saying? Read it and determine and say, okay, it's a bee. It's a bumblebee. I looked at it, it kind of said bumblebee. It's simple. But them, it's a cat. I'm like, what? It's a bee, fool. No, it's a cat. That's a mistake. Because if we both out here looking at the same information and we all come up with bee and these fools coming up with cat, we arguing for no reason because they ain't gonna never catch up. It's gonna be like, yo, they too far behind. Let's move forward. But we done let the dipshits in the house ruling the place. The dumb people are in power. Wow. At this point, I gotta speak to those who don't vote. Let me speak to y'all for a minute. Whoever's out there that didn't vote. First of all, fuck you. I can't stand your ass because you got common sense and you decided to stay the fuck out. That to me is a egregious act. You're just as bad as a MAGA. Second, okay, let's say you want to vote for Jill Stein. Just do your homework this time. Jill Stein is a Russian person, okay? She's not from Russia, but she's always hanging out with the Russians. And you notice the bitch disappears. Every fucking time after her fucking election's over, she fucking appears. Okay? She's not out there fighting for your rights. She's not out there saying, hey, free this person like she's been saying. She comes out. What happened to the Marion lady, huh? The one that was on weed, always talking about 420. You knew she was high every 5 minutes she got on anything. And so I'm going to free you. I'm going to get federal, no more crimes for weed. This dipshit, where is she? Where is she? Why ain't she out there marching right now and gathering y'all all together to try and end the shit in Palestine? You haven't heard from none of these fools that you decided either to vote for or to hang out with when it comes to the thick of things right now. Not one of them is going against jack shit. The only people you see are the ones who have always been there that are fighting against the Republicans. I haven't seen an independent. Oh, well, then again, you got one independent doing it, but the rest of them, where they at? You got AOC out here fighting for shit. Jasmine Crockett out here fighting for shit. Where are your little tree-hugging people that you was all, want to vote for them instead of voting for people who can actually win? Where the fuck are they? I ain't heard one of them. Marion, where you at? And then for you people who didn't vote at all, I'm confused. You confused now? With Latin people being snatched up, you confused now? With people who look like me being snatched up thinking they're from Africa, they're taking them back? Are you confused now? Or do you understand that this country is hanging on by a fucking thread, and if you don't participate, it's going away? And you may be mad at this country. I get it. This country ain't been good to people of color for a long fucking time. It's been better than it was in the 1800s. You got to admit that. But it needs to be better. But it doesn't get better unless you participate. See, this is the thing that white people, racist white people, and people of other races who are racist as fuck or sexist as fuck or xenophobic as fuck or any kind of phobic, they understand that their vote determines on who lives next to them, who gets opportunities, who gets grants, who gets all this money from the government, who gets helped, who gets invested in. Their vote gets them that. And you guys think voting means shit. No, voting means everything. Okay? Think about it, people who aren't voting. If you don't vote, the dog catcher in your neighborhood will be somebody who don't like you or your dog. You don't vote, the schools will put situations where your kids won't be able to learn about their own fucking history. But if you voted, you kick those people out that thought like that. If you voted, then you could be able to put people, and I'm talking about state and local. I ain't got the federal yet. Then you can have people that are judges that care about the law and not about their racist agendas or their sexist agendas or their gay agenda. You find out, you vote for that person, you can have a better community within your community, right? You can have those leaders that benefit the majority of the people in the community and not the minority. But they're defending what they think is right. The reason why the laws or the people in position in your community are fucking with you and the minorities because you're not voting for the people that will say, we're going to stop fucking with you. You are not voting to get them out. You just have given up and thinking they're going to get into power anyway. Nope. They don't get into power just by getting into power. It's when the people rise up and say, fuck that. Anybody that's out, like I said, from dog catcher to president, if you ain't being a part of it, you fucking it up. Be effective. So what if your person doesn't win? But if you don't put it in, the effort in, you're going to lose every time. Ain't nobody fighting for your rights but you. And if you can get enough people to realize that their best interest is your best interest, and you guys vote in a block for your best interest, you win someone who gives a fuck about your interest. You don't vote, you're back in the same fucked up cycle that's been there forever. You got to think bigger than just you. You have to think about yourself, but think about who else thinks like me that wants this. Who else wants their property taxes to be lowered? Who else wants, for cops and shit like that to be held accountable and no longer have immunity for fucking with people of color or anything like that? Who else wants that? Then you get together with people that want to change that. And you make sure that your senators and your representatives in your state want that same thing. If they don't vote for them. That's the only way you're going to change the structure of this country. But sitting it out, what you complaining about? You're a part of the problem, not the solution. The only way you can solve this is to get people in power that want to solve it too. And without you voting, nobody gives a fuck about what you care about. That cruise control just keeps everything status quo. Just like anything else. Do you go play basketball knowing that you can lose? Do you stop? Or do you continue to the court realizing that I can win? You may run into a team that's better than you and you lost, but you put in a good effort. But you participated. You guys are trying to win a game that you're not willing to even get on the court to see if you can win or lose. Enough of this staying out of it. Look what our country looks like because so many millions of people decide to sit on their fucking couch. We talk about Democrats, we talk about Republicans, we talk about the 92%, we talk about the 80%, we talk about the majorities of different races that decided to vote for it, but we don't talk about you guys who sat on the fucking couch and fucked this country up. Your non-participation is a part of why we're here. I don't believe Trump would be in office today if those 10 million plus decide to get their ass off the couch and vote. It just pisses me off that you guys play with this country. This country could be so much better if the people who loved it truly loved it and loved the people in it. The opportunities that we all should be able to have, there's more than enough for all of us. There's a reason why billionaires have become billionaires, because think about Elon Musk. Elon Musk would not be the billionaire he is today if he didn't do what the government wanted him to do to get these funds. Most of Elon Musk's money has come from us, the American citizen, not buying his products. Our tax dollars went to him to start most of his businesses. He is a billionaire because we gave him welfare in the name of subsidies and loans, not even loans, investments. He don't have to pay them back. And the same man that's received more welfare than all of the poor people in this country combined. One man has gotten more welfare from the government, and that is Elon Musk, than any of these poor people. And all these people care about is bitching at the poor people while these rich people gets hundreds of millions of dollars. One project. Elon Musk gets $400 million of our money for one thing, and that is to turn those ugly ass trucks into like an armored truck $400 million. At least that's what was on that document that he had with Doge. They changed it later to just say EV, but it said his truck at first. Cybertruck, armored, $400 million. $400 million of welfare. And this country's like, oh, no big deal. The total amount of giving to every poor person, 400, 500 million. Why are we doing that? All of these people need to get a job. One man gets 400 million. The rest of society who's poor and shit have 500 million ever put into a certain amount, or five, whatever. I think maybe 500 million, maybe 5 billion, or something like that. But they got this money to help these people rise up. And we're bitching and moaning about that and celebrating this prick for getting $400 million for one product. He still got Twitter. He still got other places. He still got the space shit. All these are receiving billions of dollars. He just stole the deal while under Doge from T-Mobile, who got a $2 trillion deal or some shit like that. He stole it, even though T-Mobile won that bid fair and square. He came in with Doge and took it from him. Government money stolen. Our money given to him for what? Welfare. This shit does not stop unless the people decide that it's over. And it starts with voting these pricks out of office. If you can't get on that same train, then if you're not voting and you're not being active, shut the fuck up. Sit in the corner and just take the pain. But there's a way to win it. And it's about being in the game, not just being a spectator. That's my 2 cents on this shit. All right. I want to thank all my members here. Swift Returns, I see you. Dennis Petro, I see you. Thank you for being here. I got a few donations too. Let me give y'all love. I'm sorry about that if I didn't give it to you. Nina, thank you for your donation. David Bickett, I saw you earlier. I appreciate you for your donation. Everybody knows how they can support the show. If you don't, I'll put it up here in a sec. It's at the bottom of the screen. I see you, Vera, dedicated, always here. I appreciate you. Always the first one here. I appreciate you. I see you, Azure. Jennifer Redgay. Always a pleasure. Let's see who else we got in here. Of course, DJ. Get back to the top. I don't know if I saw Mike in here. Alice early, I see America is totally corrupt and hopeless for the rights of wealthy people to be criminals. Yeah, most definitely. We got to figure out a way. The people got to figure out a way. We got to start talking about it more. Like I said, for those of you who come here, I'm still working on my solution, Avid Solution show. I'm so happy about that as it's coming along. A lot of it's just about just positivity and changing things, finding solutions. And that's what I think we need. What did Jorge say? He said, Megyn Kelly said she voted for Trump because she didn't want transgenders in the locker room with her daughter, and now she's playing dumb. Yeah. You know, it's so weird. Just listen to me say what he just said. And it's not you, Jorge. If I said to you, I'm voting for somebody because I don't want these transgenders in the locker room with my daughter, how does that sound? Replace transgender and say the N-word. Replace it and say the horrible things they said about other people, the Jewish people, the Latin people. You're openly saying you don't like a class of people because of the way they are. Something that they say, and I agree with, they can't change. This is how they felt their entire lives. And who am I to tell them they didn't? I don't feel that way. So I'm not that way. But other people feel that way and they're happiest being that way. And therefore, it ain't hurting me none. Why am I calling them out? They ain't doing shit to me. They're loving each other and their friends and their family and all of that. They're just existing. And for somebody to say, I voted because I don't want people to exist. Who are you to tell people that they can't exist the way they believe their God or lack thereof created them to be? And people will say, oh, well, they got mental issues. As in, since when do we go collecting? If this was true, I'm going to give you that. Say it was true. It's not, but let's say it's true. So when do you start going around saying that I don't want the mentally ill alive or around me? How does that shit sound? I don't understand how these people didn't just listen to themselves out loud and say, whoa, I sound so prejudiced and bigoted and racist as fuck. It is normal for them to think this way. So why don't you think that they're not racist or sexist? If you can come out and say you don't want a class of people around in your locker room, then you're saying you don't want those people around you, period. You just got an excuse of where they go that you don't want them to have access to. Because think about it. In the locker room or on the bus, you're in the same room with a trans person. In a classroom, you're in the same room as a trans person. So what's your fear? That they're going to attack your child, or the fact that they merely exist in the same room as your child? And you just want to say, where's the worst place they could exist in front of my child? Oh, a bathroom. That's legitimate. Okay. I don't want my kids around transgender in the bathroom. When you really don't want your kids around a transgender, period. But bathroom is safest to say without sounding bigoted or racist. Or transgender-ish, whatever the hell that term may be. It's just crazy to me. All right, let me get back to the top. All right, I think that was it. Mike McCullough, I see you. I see you. Where's Janet at? It says to vote the pedo in, and now people are starting to see Trump Epstein stuff, right? Most definitely. What does it say, Janet? You know Drew has love for you. Of course, I got love for everybody here. What did I say? You can pause that Oh, I didn't say Rudy and Planet Janet. Oh no, my bad, Rudy and Planet Janet. I didn't see it. I got love for you. You know that. You playing with me. This is Dennis. I feel that no one who has had plastic surgery to improve or change their looks should be considered trans because they transformed into something they are not. Yeah, I mean, I look at it this way. Sometimes you got to really kind of wrestle with your own mentality. And you got to ask yourself questions. Turn it on yourself instead of trying to look outward and blame somebody for something. One of the things that I remember talking to someone who was gay at the time. This was many years ago. And it's still gay, but at the time, it was a gay person I was speaking to. And I was talking to them about something. I don't know if it was at a bar or something like that. But they were with friends. And I always ask questions. But somehow we got into conversation. And this person said to me when people have asked them the question, one of the things they say back to people who have questions about them, things like, is it your choice or some shit like that? And they said something to me that was heavily profound. But I mean, I probably said it here before, but I just looked at them and I was like, I've never had that moment. And the moment they said was like, Drew, do you remember the day you woke up and chose to be straight? I was like, I never chose to be straight. And they were like, exactly. I was like, damn, and at the time I was like, that's profound. I never thought about it like that. You know what I'm saying? I just like, be what you want to be. It's you. But it's like, you know what? I never woke up and said, I'm choosing straight today. Yep, yep, girls, that's my thing. I never, ever did that. So this person was like, I woke up and I was just myself. I never thought about girls in that way. I always thought of boys that way. I didn't wake up and choose gay. It chose me. And it's just like straight chose you. And I was like, wow. So you see it in a better way that way. When people are trying to say it, they're trying to justify why somebody is something that they can't understand. But ask that person who's homophobic or angry, when was the day that you woke up and chose straight? So being gay is not a choice. It's who they are. It's who they are, right? And there are people say, what about bis? Like I said, they woke up being who they are. They were attracted to both. Everybody's got questions about certain things. Just ask the person. Just, be kind and ask the person if you're confused, if you really care. But stop putting what you believe on somebody without knowing what that person went through. Just like me going to a doctor and telling him the reason why he became a doctor. It's like, nah, you got to ask me, bro. I'll tell you why I became a doctor. For the money. Another doctor, I came because I want to help people. Everybody has a reason, but this is what I am. Listen to them. Stop putting your opinions on their heart and their spirit. Let them tell you. Let them tell you who they are and accept them for who they are or not. But you don't have to live around a situation all the time. It's not like you got to walk outside and just, you see a gay person, you got to walk in the same shoes as them. Just like you're straight, they're like, you're just straight. Walking around you is just walking around you. No big deal. It's crazy. Good way to put it, right, Jennifer? It opened my eyes. I feel this. Anyone has, how to say that? Demographics of people, diversity. I see that, Alice, I know I'm praying it doesn't happen. They use scripts from the Bible referring God, man, woman, for man, and woman for man. Yeah, I mean, again, I always look at it this way in that situation. Everybody, I understand if you are a devout, Christian or whatever, and you follow whatever that's in your Bible. Fine. Do your thing. Do your thing. That's you, whatever. But it's not, that's your life. You know what I'm saying? That's your connection with the God and your connection to the spiritual, your connection to the Bible. And therefore, don't go down that path for you. But you're not the judge, and I ain't saying this to you specifically. I'm just talking about the person who has an issue with it, and they're talking about their Christianity or their Jewishness or whatever race, or not race, but religion or whatever you're in. It's like, okay, that's good for you and your group of people. But not everybody's Christian, not everybody's Muslim, not everybody's Buddhist, or not everybody believes in your particular faith. Follow yours, and we will respect what you believe about you and your people, your group of people. But telling other people what they should and shouldn't be, that's like me saying I'm no longer a person who goes to church and quote unquote Christian under the religious form of what that is. It's like me walking up to somebody who's in church and be like, why are you going to this place? God ain't in there. I mean, that ain't my place to be. He ain't in there for me. He may be in there chilling, eating a Subway sandwich in there for you. Do your thing. I ain't gonna tell you what you can and cannot do. But when you look at that and you say, wait a minute, when we go meet our maker, which we're gonna meet that maker individually, where we believe in him, her, it, or not, that's when the judgment happens that matters. Me not caring about this, that, and the third, and who you with, nothing. That ain't got shit to do with nothing, to me. And that's the way I deal with it. Because again, we sharing this rock together. And I shouldn't be forcing my beliefs on somebody else. There's more than enough of us that believe somewhat near the same way or open enough for everybody that we can vibe. Go vibe with your racists. I mean, if you're a racist, go vibe with them. You got enough of them to hang out and vibe with them, but I vibe with people who are open enough to accept people as they are, good people that love on each other regardless of what. We know what's illegal, like harming children and all stuff like that is wrong. There is no ifs, ands, or buts, no excuses for it. Go to jail directly, do not pass go, that type of shit. We know that. And we also know what we all kind of want. Find somebody or something in our lives that we love, whether it be a dog, cat, our family, husband, wife, girlfriend, whatever it may be, ourselves, being able to enjoy our lives and, go out and hang out, watch the sunset, sunrise, breathe in fresh air, own some property or nice apartment or loft. We all want the same kind of things: a good place to live, education, and opportunities, enjoying other people at parties and clubs or picnics or whatever. Just enjoying life. We all want those things. We don't want anybody, pressuring us. We don't want high crime. We don't want people to be caught up in substances that destroy their lives. And we can all have these things of having a good life. But we have to be looking out for each other. It can't just be a me, me, me thing. It's a we thing. I want you to have those things. You may want to be a billionaire. I want you to be that. You may want to be, a farmer or a stay-at-home parent. I want you to have that. You should be able to explore that. Who am I to tell you that you can't? That's why it always pisses me off when Republicans are talking about these people need to get a job. Fuck you. You do your job. These people need to do whatever they got to do to make their lives better. If they want to get a job or they want to create, like scarves or some shit at home and knit and sell those and make some money and live off, $100 a day, it's their choice. It is not yours to demand on them that they got to do something that you want them to do. Pay your taxes like everybody else. And we should be able to take care of our poor. We should be able to have health care, at least the bare minimum of preventative maintenance, so that we don't get as sick and that we're in better shape. So therefore, as we get older, we don't become sicker. We become just as healthier as we were pretty much when we were young. And, elder ailments start to happen, arthritis and so forth. But if we start to take care of one another, it's a better place to live. So you got the rich people telling you that you can't have those things because it's going to cost too much. Do you understand that a high percentage of us get sick and don't have the insurance, and millions, not millions, billions of dollars every year are going to people who don't have insurance? But if everybody was insurance, those billions of dollars will be going towards something else. Our taxes pay enough to be able to do this stuff. If we can buy a $2 trillion plane that we never fly, our military is ridiculous. Go look it up. We have bought planes for $2 trillion and never flew that bitch. Discontinued it and started up another plane. And we can't come up with health care for all? I call bullshit. We just don't have enough people to give a damn about all people. And you got to think about that for a hot second. There are too many millions of people that find out that people get sick and don't have health care that don't give a fuck. That will sit there and be like, well, better you than me, and keep on moving. Instead of saying, they don't need to get a GoFundMe. We need to just get health care. So that doesn't happen and that gets caught before it gets bad. We have too many ways to solve these problems and too few people that really want to do it. I'm telling you, there are solutions for all the things we have problems for. We just don't have enough people that want them implemented. Because we got too many rich people lying to a large swath of us who has reach. If we could reach tens of millions of people, we can get a lot of these things changed. But within the apps that we have and things that we have, Not unless we do something stupid will people start to look at us. But if we start talking about loving on one another, these people tune out. I could literally come on here and bless people with things and love on them for 5 hours straight. I still won't get more than 10,000 people to watch it. Because this country is always seeking out the bad in people so that they feel good about where you are in life. It's sad, but it's true. And it's not going to change until many of us decide, I'm done with the old ways, let's bring in the new. This world is not a me thing, it's a we thing. And the more we care about we, the better our lives become. And it's simple as that. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. Ask yourself, why are you easily to believe the worst in people? And so easily you disbelieve in those who care about you, who want a better life for you, who wants to drop this divisive wall and bring up a united wall, but you don't trust that. I ain't saying you specifically, but whomever is listening, but you would trust somebody who gives you a divisive word and you just join in with the divisiveness. Oh, that's right this and that's right that. That's right. But once you start talking about loving on each other, positivity, bring each other together. If you got healthcare problems, you need to be able to get your healthcare, your medicine. You should not be dying because your pills are $4,000 a pop. And any human being that would charge you $4,000, $8,000 for something that keeps you alive is saying, I only want the rich to stay alive. You poor, go ahead and die. The fact that those humans exist, I can only say to God, that's one of your mistakes. I know they got a free will, but you also have the power to take them off this planet. And you allow that free will to stay. And it's up to us who have a modicum of love and care to be able to X those people out. And I ain't talking about unalive them. I'm saying coming up with a better way so that those people, we don't need their drug or their thing anymore. We can just get it from Canada or whatever. And enough of us who give a damn can start to be able to create something that gives a damn about people. See, the thing I want you to understand, this is why I do this Avid Solution thing coming out with, is because there are solutions for us as a people to defeat these evil billionaires and people who want to charge you outrageous numbers. The connections that they have to be able to get these particular products made for pennies on the dollar is accessible to us too. We don't have to get it through that drug company. We can literally get that same drug from China, that same drug from Canada, that same thing from Brazil, wherever. The exact same thing that's being sold for $4 over there. How do you think Mark Cuban started this good RX or whatever the hell it is, and you can get your medication for cheaper? He's doing the exact same thing. All he's doing is going to the source, and he's charging you an uptake of what he's actually having to pay for it. Why can't the people do that and say, fuck you to the billionaires? We can. It's whether we choose to do it or not. And that's what I want to provide. It's the solutions to the problems that we have. And then have the people decide, do you want to go down the path we've always been going down, and that's straight to poverty, growing old and broker? Or do we want to say, you know what, let's take our future into our own hands and determine how we're going to go down this path without those people who act like they give a damn, but all they really care about is how much money they're going to make to buy the next or the biggest yacht. It's up to us. And that's what I'm doing. So you'll see me coming up with, and I wanted to have fun too with it too, because I'm a person who loves to invent and create things. And when I first started this, I was always learning about Black brilliant people in American history and how they created some of the most incredible things that I didn't know that existed. But, you know, I've always looked at, no matter what race or color or creed you're from, the new technologies, the new ideas, the structures that people come up with, they're born out of getting tired of the problem. Therefore, they have to create a solution. And it's always amazing to kind of delve into the life of the person who invented things that you enjoy today, because the problem that existed prior to what our solution has now, knowing what, eating with your hands without a spoon or whatever somebody created certain things for, just an example. I like to know that history and why they came about with the invention, and then to open it up for other people to be able to, explore their mind and creativity, whether it's to help out people politically, what I'm doing as well, or just to come up with ideas that are just fun and bring back the child in you, the wonderment, the joy, the things that these people are seriously robbing from us. We are so tense from these evil people that we're constantly defending just common sense. And it's about time we take the reins and start just doing things that make us happy while figuring out ways to create solutions that destroy their power over us, while at the same time creating a new type of power structure that allows us to be us, that really celebrates and reignites the opportunity to obtain the American dream, to redefine it from what it used to be, because it's dead. The American dream is dead. There is no way that people wake up every day and think of, oh, I can do this, because of there is really no energy out there that is celebrating the brilliance of each citizen individually and what you bring to the table. We're always defending stuff because we got these people who become leaders in this country that every country around us is looking at and like, how the fuck did that happen? And I would like to say to those people all over the world, I don't know how the fuck this shit happened, y'all. But I know we have to stop it some way, somehow. And by doing what I do on this show, and then my other avid solution is by giving that other positive aspect, to start building solutions and open people's minds and start to just have that feeling, that wonderment, that idea of like, we can still, bring out the best in each other while the worst is happening. That's what I want to kind of give people, that kind of enlightenment. And one of the things that comes into my head, and maybe you should listen to it, if you kind of like bring yourself back. You remember Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Bear with me. Don't be tripping. Just bear with me for a second. I want you to go and listen to the song Pure Imagination. Listen to the wonderment in that song. It gives you like anything is possible. It gives you like a light feeling. And if you watched the movie back then, you happen to be my age or around that age, it brings you back childlike thought processes and joy. You'll find yourself with a smile on your face. You need that type of therapy in a world that is consistently messing with the norms. So much so that you don't even recognize the country that you loved and still love, but just don't know how to defend just yet, because every day brings a new challenge. And we need to meet those challenges head on. And we need to starve those organizations, those rich people that are trying to destroy it. It's time for us to stand up for the country we love. It's time to stand up for what we believe in. And when we can do that, we can win. It may not be about fighting them toe and blow for blow and toe to toe. It might be that we start moving a different way that doesn't need them, so that we can create a world, no matter what they do, that we can thrive. Not just survive, but thrive with all the crap they try to throw in there. All it takes is us caring about us and finding out that our leaders should be fighting them in the courts and doing what they do. But it's time for us to step up and become the power that we are. Each one of us has a power to move in a positive way, to move toward what we believe in. We just have to voice it. And I want you guys to voice those things in the comments section so that you start to understand, what is it that I want out of this country? What is it that I want my people? And when I mean my people, I mean family, your friends, people that you love, people in this room you care about. What is it that you want for them? What is it that you want for yourselves? And when we start to see that and hear that more often, the commonalities start to rise. What do we want as a people, as Americans? And then we can move towards something that we all agree on. And it starts with just helping each other out. And as that grows, more and more people come, and we start to help each person out. I don't care whether it's with a prayer or a positive thought. I don't care if somebody's being sick and we, send them, cookies, or, you probably can't eat cookies, but still, if you're sick, send them soup, we send them whatever so that they don't have to, go out and shop, send them some groceries, whatever it may be. When we start looking out for each other and start realizing the village of Americans that care about Americans we're building, then we can start to get stronger and stronger. It may not be fighting them. It might be loving on each other so strong that their voices are minuscule compared to the power that we've created amongst ourselves. I believe love is stronger than hate, but we have to learn how to love each other by listening to one another, by helping one another, and stop always wanting to receive something. Think about giving, because you'll receive in the process of giving. And I ain't talking about always money. That could be the case, but give positive thoughts. Pray for somebody. Reach out and just text somebody and say, what's going on? Hope all is good. Simple things like that to unify around giving a damn about each other. Then we can start moving toward bigger things. One by one, we can start knocking them off. Get a checklist of things we want, knock them off. And 5 Alarm Fire, how you been? I didn't get a chance to see where you was. Okay. That's why I'm here, Drew. Facts are a great group of people that are here regularly. Oh, most definitely. You doing good? You weren't feeling well yesterday. You all right? Well, why 20 years it has been by my side through multiple deployments and injuries that kept me off my feet for months. All right. We hope you get better, brother. Let me see what I'm going back to see. You keep losing feeling in your legs. Is it getting numb, or is it like you don't feel your leg at all? Ooh, 6-disc fuse. I had nothing like that yet, but I had a back surgery. Had to be about 15, 20 years ago, I guess now. Mine was a lower discectomy. But it was just, a disc had ruptured a little bit, and the fluid in the disc had I guess it's thick, I don't know, but it was sticking out and touching a nerve. And y'all, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know what 5 Alarm Fire is going through, but I know if your back is messed up, your whole body messed up. I mean, everything from using the restroom to walking to eating to anything. Almost everything that you do incorporates your back. And I was 8 months I was in my 30s when it happened. I was 8 months of going worse to worse, from bad to worse, to even worse than that, to not being able to walk, to not being able to use the restroom, to crawling till I had to get an operation and get it done. In my case, luckily, it was a microdiscectomy, so they didn't have to do a lot. It was an outpatient thing, and I've been, pretty much good. But I had the sciatica, the nerve, all the way down to my toe, to my heel, from my waist all the way down. My left leg is still not as strong as my right leg because of it. They told me that it was going to be that way. It was never going to get better because of the way it wasn't going to, let's say get worse. But gradually, as you get older, things start getting worse. But for me, because of the things that I lost for that 8 months of constantly going through the nerve damage, then I had nerve damage like pretty much for the rest of my life. But, for the most part, it hasn't affected me. Just soreness every once in a while, certain things I can't do that I used to do, but I'm good. But for what 5 Alarm Fire is going to, oh man, that pain has got to be insane. So you get infused, and then it must be a nerve issue why you're not feeling your legs. It's not um, like a disease or anything like that. It's just your nerve is being damaged, is what it seems. Uh, yeah, I can't fathom the pain you're going through, man. I'm praying for you, cause that pain, y'all. If you had any back issues, whoo, and again, to give it, I'm not gonna ask him to explain because I don't, he in pain and stuff, but I'll give you some insight. For me personally, the pain was so bad. Again, sitting down too long hurt, standing up too long hurt. So when you sit down for 20 minutes, you had to stand up for 10 or 20 minutes just so you can stop the pain. I remember, driving in my car, I'd have to lift one butt cheek, yo. I ain't lying to y'all. Lift up one butt cheek while I'm driving because it hurt so bad. And then I let it down because it's on my left side. So I lift up on my left side, try to stop it and stretch it a little bit while I'm driving. Then I feel it down my leg all the way down to my heel. I drive with the other foot with both legs, and I'm not used to that. I had to do that. All kinds of drugs did not work, and you had to consistently do that. It is draining. So I don't know what you're going through fully. Mine was minuscule compared to yours, based on how many discs. Oh my God, it's got to be crazy. I cried every once in a while, so I ain't gonna lie about that. Your boy dropped a tear in a heartbeat. I'm like, this shit hurt. Was broken in 3 vertebrae, so that was my first 3 fusion. Oh my God, neck broke type situation. If it's too high too, that you worry about. And most people may not know, in the middle of your back is where, if you break or hurt the middle of your back, in the middle of your back, that's where you're close to paralyzation. Okay, lower back, that nerve is not there. So people are worried about getting lower back surgery. Not unless your doctor totally effed up and went too far in cutting it. You can't. It's not down there. It's toward the middle of the back. So that's something you shouldn't have to worry about. But with him, I feel in the neck. Wow, I couldn't even take Vicodin. They gave me Vicodin, Dennis. Man, I started seeing dots, yo. And it scared the holy crap out of me. It's on my doctor's list. Don't ever get this dude Vicodin, ever, because I promise you, when they gave it to me after the surgery, and I was walking around good, I'm like, man, outpatient surgery. I walk up the stairs, down the stairs. I went home. I'm like, yo, I'm cured. I'm gonna go running again. Shit, lay in the bed. Those damn drugs wore off. Boy, it was hurt. I could just move like this, and I'm talking about and start screaming and shit. Whole family like, what's wrong? I'm like, whew, I moved. But it was crazy. I remember crying often, yo, because you could just make it's a short little move like that. That's simple, and there would be pain up and down my whole body for like 20 minutes, just extraordinary, extreme pain, and wouldn't stop. And like you said, Dennis, they put me on Vicodin, and when that shit, I was like, I popped that Vicodin, drank the water, sitting there chilling. I'll never forget that feeling, dog. I'll never take Vicodin ever again. They give that shit to me ever. It's like we fighting. When I wake up, whoever gave it to me, I'm boxing them. Woman, child, dog, cat, I don't care who it is. They get in these hands. They give it to me. They get in these hands. But I took that, and man, it's like you're trying. You ever think about? I don't know if you have weird dreams or you ever thought about hanging off a cliff and you just clinging on by your fingertips and shit. That's how I was clinging on to like the world. It felt like I took that drug and it felt like my life was slipping away from me, and I was trying to hang on. And hanging on was waking up. I'm like, I said wake, and I started seeing dots and shit. I was like, it was taking me out. It felt like I was dying. I was trying to cling on for life, and life was just taking me out. I was like, I was trying my best to stay awake, and it didn't just put me to sleep. It just knocked me out, and I was asleep for like, I don't know, like 18 hours or some craziness. And I woke up, and it was like I had just fallen asleep. I was scared. I was like, what happened? She's like, it's the next day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I ain't messing with that shit, y'all. It ain't gonna happen. I'm walking up and somebody getting these hands, they hand me one of those. Anyway, my pain makes me cry every day. It's constant, 24/7 pain, never goes away unless I get some Percocet. It helps, but doesn't take all the pain away, just enough to break. What kind of pain you got, Rude in the Planet Janet? Cervical. I wanted to do a cervical fusion. Hell no. Oh, you had back pain, back surgery too. The surgery. Oh yeah, so you have back pain as well. Yeah, yeah, back pain ain't no joke. Back pain ain't no joke. When I had it, the female, it was a male doctor who gave my first surgery, and then probably about 10, 12 years later, because they told me it would only last for like 10 years, whatever they did to me. So I had to get a surgery every 10, years or so. So around year 10, my back was killing me. And I went to a doctor, and this time it was a woman doctor. I think I told you guys about her before, but she was the second second black female neurosurgeon. She by just a few days or so, she would have been the first black female neurosurgeon in the world. She was the second, just short by a few days, and such a wonderful person. And I'm in the hospital, and y'all gotta understand, I crack jokes even when I'm in pain because I like to laugh. So I'm sitting there talking to the doctor, talking mad shit to the doctor because they were telling me this person was coming. I was in pain, so I was kind of an asshole. So I'm like, who is this person? I had never heard of her. I got to interview her first. I'm like, I got to interview the doctor. It's like, I got to see her first. She ain't touching me unless I know who it is. And they was like, well, that's all we got. I said, nah, I need this doctor right here. They're like, well, he ain't in. I'm like, well, I'm going to have to wait. Leave me here. I was that ass. And I don't mess around with my back. I'm not bad, but just my health. And I go to the doctor. I'm like, if I'm going to see one doctor, don't be handing me no second-rate doctor. So I'm on, a lot of y'all not. I get on my phone. I miss the research. Right? I get on my phone. I'm looking at the doctor's name. And I'm like, she this per doctor? You got the picture? This her? So yeah, it's like, wait a minute. Hold on. All right. This sister, okay, what's going on? I'm looking at her flipping through her stuff. Oh, she graduated from here. So while I'm looking up her resume, this fine sister walks in, older sister. She walks in. She said, what you looking at? Cracking jokes too. I love this lady. She's just fun as hell. She said, what you looking at? I said, your resume? She said, you fine with it? Is it good? Is it good to you? And we hit it off. We cracking jokes. I'm in pain. We laughing back and forth. I'm like, I'm sorry, lady. I just didn't. She said, nah, you need to be doing research. You know who I was. But long story short, so she was super cool. And she was like, she looked out for me. She said, you don't need to get the same surgery again. I'll give you this right here. And she was just looking out for me big time. She's like, if you get the second surgery, there could be scar tissue. And the scar tissue, you probably be in constant pain for the rest of your life. You just have to manage it through drugs. And she did everything she could for me. And get this, sister was sitting there, we was cracking jokes, back and forth, exchange numbers, have fun. She didn't charge me a dime. I didn't have to pay for shit. I was like, when did this shit happen? I didn't pay for nothing, y'all. She had me in there for a couple days, giving me drugs and stuff like that for my back until the swelling went down. When it was over, she came in and hung out, cracked some jokes and stuff like that. Talked about music, because you know me, I love music. So we talking about old school music, songs that we like. She introduced me to some artists and stuff like that. We sitting there listening to jazz together. And then we get out, I get out, and then she hits me up on the phone. We chatting on the phone, stuff like that. Just cool, you know what I'm saying? No dating or nothing like that. We're just really cool people. I was like, man, this is crazy. I was like, you know what? I probably have to, I got to pay this insurance. She said, boy, please. He ain't paying for nothing. You didn't have to be there. You get his back was hurting, all this, that, and the third. I didn't have to pay. That was the first time in my life I got like a VIP treatment, like for nothing. But anyway, long story short about that is that, she helped me understand, that I don't need to get certain, the doctor that actually stood up for me, that did something for me, that didn't just take my money, just be taking it, and help me educate myself about my own health. And it was just, again, good times and good vibes. Not like it is now, the scar tissue is causing the pain. Exactly, Rude. That's the big problem I was worried about was the scar pain. So she told me scar tissue will cause pain, like probably for the rest of your life, if you get the surgery in the same spot. And she was like, it's in the same spot. But she gave me, I forgot what drug it was, but she gave me this drug that made me like, made me kind of loopy. But regardless of loopiness, it helped me out tremendously. It took the swelling down. So then she told me all I have to do if I have the pain again, it's going to happen again. You don't need the surgery again, because she had it too. She knew it too. And she said, all you got to do is take, something like ibuprofen, 800 milligrams or whatever, and relax and let that go down, because then I'm just swelling and inflammation. So take something for the inflammation. You'll be back to, it can take 24 to 48 hours. And she's right. I was in that hospital, y'all. I'm like, yo, I'm in pain. It's coming up again. It's starting to happen again. I was all pressure. I was like, I said, look, I'm starting to feel it. Uh-oh, it's going down to my leg. Oh, is that my heel? Uh-oh, let's get this shit out of me. She was killing me. She said, boy, just shut up. Just shut up. I said, you're my doctor. You told me to shut up. Where administration at? We was talking bad shit. But yeah, I hope you feel better, man. I hope you feel better. I understand it's not simple. And that cortisone shit did not work. It worked for a day or two for me. For some people, they told me it worked for a few months. Didn't work for me. It worked for me that first time for like a couple months, somewhere around there, close to a couple months. Second time was like 2 weeks. Third time, I was sitting there like, yo, you put it in me? He said, yeah, don't you feel the pressure? I said, man, I feel the pain. I don't feel no pressure, nothing. You suckered me. You didn't put nothing in my back. And he had put it in my back. My back was just immune to it. It's like, nah, bro, you're going to have to get an operation. Lower spine, this bulge that protrudes, that is all scar tissue. Yeah. If it protrudes, whoo, that is killer pain. Killer pain. I don't understand how they can't get rid of scar tissue, yo. They should be able to go in and cut it out or something. But it is what it is, I guess. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm praying for you, man. The cortisone worked some at first, but no longer helps me. Yeah, it's only temporary for me. I think it's just prolonged. Some people say it worked for them and it helped. And I'm guessing it depends on your the level in which your actual pain, not necessarily pain, but your disc is dislocated or ruptured. If it's just small little rupture, then yeah, cortisone might work. But no, it didn't work at all. I'm on morphine, and I don't know how you say that, until my surgery. All right. Well, we got positive thoughts and prayers sent out to you. 5 on Fire. Much love to you and your family, and your wife being there to support you. But keep us abreast of what's going on. If you need anything, let us know. All of us who going through pains, prayers out for you too. Medications and things like that you have to take. It's just, as we get older, these things start to F with us. So I look forward to seeing you guys again tomorrow. We're going to continue talking about these things. Look out again for Avid Solutionists. We need solutions. As we continue to talk about the problems we face, we also need to have solutions, and we also need to be happy and joyful about what we do have. Hug your loved ones. Tell them you love them. Don't go a day without that. We never know when we're going to wake up. So I tell you right now, I love you guys, because I never know if I'm going to be back again. But for those people who are positive and want the world to change, the reason why we're mad at the world the way it is because the way we love this country is no longer, and it's fading, and we want it to come back. So we're fighting to get it back. And so that's what Avid Solutions is going to be about, us coming up with solutions, listening to one another, and implementing them as best we can. And as we start to grow and do that and provide a way for us, we'll move toward a better world, a better place, into the country that we love. And the American dream will be real again, or at least better than it was before, not worse, as it's starting to fall apart right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, much love to you. And as always, you know how we do. Before we get out of here, I already said I gave love to everybody. I think I missed out 5 on Fire. Thank you for being here. Thank you for membership. And for the rest of y'all, you know how it goes. I can continue talking for a second, but I'll see you when I see you. Much love.